All right. So, welcome back to A Twin Flame Path. I hope that your day is going well, maybe even spectacularly, you know. Um, yeah, so, you know, okay, so what's been on, like, in my mind, in my mind's eye, my vision has been a little off topic, but it's not really off topic because, it has a lot to do with everything. Um, what it is politics. Um, and how does that relate to like the twin flame path, and things like that? It's more of an ascension thing because when you're a twin flame, you are an ascended being, like this isn't your first rodeo. Um, Most likely you're gonna be in tune with things that the average bloke or the average Joe is not in tune to. Like even if you're on your path and you probably, you know, you may feel like your path is just it's constant growth. But once you kind of decide to like ride that ride, um, you're you're just on a different wavelength than most. And when it comes to politics, telling you, man, like these cats, they're on one for sure. um, they kind of taste like medicine. It's it's lime. Oh, it's lime mint. Okay, sorry, I got confused. I was expecting some like plain lime water carbonation situation, but the mint threw me off. Sorry, but yeah, politicians, politics, all that. They're all on one. And you hear the rumors and the stories about what their intentions are. And, I think there's a lot of people out there wanting to do some good work. I really do, in all the walks. It's just sometimes the decisions just aren't cool. Sometimes they're just downright offensive. And sometimes it's even feeling a bit intentionally offensive, like you know what you're doing. And you may be playing dumb. You may be thinking that this isn't affecting you. You may be thinking that this is serving your greatest good, one of the two. But what my opinion about this is that the words that they say are the words that govern their existence here and in the afterlife, and when you start calling on God, when you start doing these intentional things, these mixtures of just like lies and claiming to be this and just doing wrong, spreading wrong, intentionally trying to like make people pissed and tear apart communities and tear apart nations and turn nations on one another. Those things are essentially like the seeds that they are planting. It's the same for all of us. And how it relates to us twin flames is that we tend to be more sensitive to these things. It tends to be more apparent. And I'm very interested in politics. I'm very interested in government. I'm very interested in business and how all of them work together. I just think it's an interesting group of topics that happen to go hand in hand with one another. So when I'm seeing these things, you know, they, and what I mean by these things are like basically bold-faced lies, being okay, and years of these things. This isn't the first time. This isn't the first generation that stuff has been whack. Stuff has been good, but then also like there's been a lot of shady things that have happened. And I think that a lot of these people feel as if they're getting away with things. And maybe like they even think that in the afterlife, or when they leave this place, that they're leaving this all behind and just going straight up to heaven, and that's that. And I really don't feel like that's the case. A lot of these policies may affect us seemingly, but like the groundwork has already been laid, and for twin flames, ascended people, conscious people, aware people, this isn't our circus. You know what I'm saying? Like we watch this show, but it's not our thing, because a lot of this stuff is like lower vibrational stuff, lies and deceit and a lot of things that just come on down from that. I think those are the two main roots, though. Like everything that I could possibly name really starts from those things. Because if you're okay with lying, like you're okay with a whole lot of other things. And it's like, if you're, I don't know. And I feel like we all should take accountability. I know that sometimes there are special circumstances or whatever. Like I can't think of anything specific, but when you make decisions that adversely affect the livelihood of people and the livelihood of the environment, and you play dumb about a lot of things that are like destroying the world, and then you in turn claim to be God-fearing or Christian, or you talk about prayer. Who are you praying to with all those lies that are coming out of your mouth? Like, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you could be just praying up to Satan, and we all know like where that may get you, and I think also in the twin flame community, it sometimes goes into the esoteric world, and there's like a world without sin, and it's just, oh, you didn't know any better, so it's just something that you need to learn, and sin is just something that was created by the church to make people feel guilty. Believe what you want, but there's some people doing some foul stuff, and it's not because they haven't learned something yet, and when they say they're sorry, sometimes these people are only sorry because they got caught, or they're in some sort of harm's way, or in jeopardy, losing a company, something like that, losing a position, some political position, like, I don't know. You see it every day now on the news. You see it every day, and you just see the different ways of things getting covered up. And, the gig was up a long time ago. And, these people, they're on the earth the same as the rest of everybody else. And there's really nothing that special about what's going on over there. There is, like, there's stuff, there's like, props, should be given when props are due, and they are due in a lot of ways in these situations and these arenas. I'm not trying to like downplay, especially like the person who really is talented or who is really working hard. But between Hollywood and Washington, there's a lot of nonsense. Like a whole lot of really fictitious, orchestrated, manipulated, false advertised nonsense. And that's their playground. You know what I'm saying? We're kind of made to believe that we need to participate just because them and their forefathers are the ones who developed things like Hollywood. You know what I'm saying? Like, research how that was started. And nothing that's being done today is different than how it started from the very beginning. Hollywood was never like some pure place where people just got together to make really good films. You know what I'm saying? And the government, America is America, but you know what I'm saying? What happened to the Native Americans here and in Canada? You know what I'm saying? That wasn't cute. What was done to the natives here and there. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't just leave out parts of the truth. My people went through that. My people went through a lot of things from a lot of different countries. And a lot of people, they claim it is a lot of different things, and the truth is the truth. And call it karma, call it whatever. But like, for twin flames, for conscious people, aware people, people who, are on their way to ascension, already fully ascended, wanting to, spread good in the world, like, you can look at all this stuff and just see that it's lies. And those lies are the same lies that they're going to take with them from the moment that they're spoken until they're left unpaid for. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry goes a long way. I want to do better goes a long way. Trying to do better, actually making an effort, doing things to correct wrongs, all of that is still very possible. Forgiveness is a beautiful thing. So, on our side, we don't have to like hold grudges and be mad, but we also don't have to like hope for revenge and downfall because it's already in the process. You start speaking lies on people and messing up people's lives. Money can't escape that. Bob Marley, I think in Redemption Song maybe, but he said there's no hiding place from the Father of creation. And that is so true. You can't hide. You're not exempt. You know what I'm saying? Just because you may have been the one to create the exempt slot on some people's taxes or, claims forms or whatever it is, everyone knows exempt, on that piece of paperwork. But, it's like a bad joke. But, you know what I'm saying? You are not exempt from the aftermath that comes from intentional fuckery. You know what I'm saying? We all mess up, and sometimes the truth is hard to put into like one concrete sentence, and so sometimes you need to elaborate and talk about things. Like, all that's cool. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of stuff that's cool. It's not just cut and dry. Like, you have to sprout some wings and wear a halo and have magic dust and smile all the time and have like beams of light coming out from behind you and all this kind of stuff, and wear crosses and cross people everywhere you go and sprinkle holy water and feed kittens and you know what I'm saying, like, and give your to-go food away. Like, all that's cool, but what I'm saying is like generations of intentional fuckery and continuous covering up and continuous aims at division and destruction, you can't hide. There is no hiding place from the Father of creation. You cannot run from the spirit realm. You cannot. That's just it, man. It's coming for you. And you invite all that stuff into your playground. You may think that you have a whole bunch of dough, and you may think you have a whole bunch of prestige. But I'm telling you, without trying to like make amends and do the right thing, like, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of fine lines. There's a lot of fine lines. But when someone has like a pure heart, that's totally different than somebody who intentionally is trying to destroy everybody around them for their own good. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to get put into some corner where something is like, oh, well, if you do this, it's the same. I'm talking about straight up deceit, straight up wanting to destroy people and the world. You know what I'm saying? So we can go into those types of details, but what I mean by destroying the world is like intentionally, just poisoning the environment and being okay with it because it benefits your company, even though it destroys the people who are living around these areas. And it destroys the environment, the pollution does for a really long time, but you are okay with that because it benefits your company. That's the kind of stuff that I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like that formula, just apply it to like anything you can fill those blanks in with. And that's what I'm talking about. So, a little off topic, but all these things are connected to like twin flame stuff, checking the time here, but I know some people want to have readings and what's going to happen, but honestly, like, it's your own thing, man. Like, between two people who are in this type of union, who have this type of connection, you're going through some stuff. It's all case sensitive. And a little bit more of a side note, like, I may have said this before, I don't even remember. More of my medicine water. Oh, and Walmart only had one. So they put their tag on it and said, hey, but why don't they carry Voss more often? But anyway, all I see is like some electrolyte water. I'm like, man, come on. Don't want some chloride crap. You know what I'm saying? Let's see, sodium bicarbonate. I can deal with that a little bit. Anyway, so, a lot of the readings and stuff, you see people with these decks and they have their gems and their candles and their pictures of, Archangel Michael and Gabriel and all these types of things. It's really bizarre because, like, there's a lot of reference to, like, Christianity and a lot of these esoteric people's readings and channels and stuff. It's like it's weird. You know what I'm saying? Like, they'll mention Jesus Christ, they'll mention the archangels, but I'm like, where do you think that comes from? Like, you think you just pick and choose? Like, oh, but it's all the universe. Where do you think the universe like stops and the spirit realm begins? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just bizarre. And all these readings sound the same. It's like some of them sound cool and some of them, are kind of accurate sometimes, but they're not ever very accurate. They're always so vague to a point where it's like you can look at one from 2011 and it'll feel like the one in 2018. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't know. It's always, I know this isn't about union. You probably won't ever hear me talk about union because in your heart you kind of know, and you get to a point where you can kind of like see the point. And so I'm not ever going to be a channel about like union is coming because my card told me that, you know, that's happening, and the moon is in this phase with Saturn, and that means that this phase is coming to an end. Like, all that's cool and stuff, but like, the point really comes from your mind, you know. It's like the work comes from like the help of others, but also like, and especially your other half, you know. But like, you kind of have to chill out and like wait for the truth, even though that's like wild, you know, because sometimes my mind will go like fluttery, you know. It's like if I get some info and I'm like, oh my gosh, you know, this means so many other things, and I want to know all of them now, and I'm still like that. It's just, you know, the external sources, I can't really say it enough, like it's not cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're going to use tarot cards, you might as well use a Ouija board. Straight up. Why not? Why not? Like, I don't understand it. You know, I don't understand why more people don't use Ouija boards if they're going to use tarot cards. It's the same thing. And if they can't get that, it's like, dude, you don't even know what you're using over here. And I'm just going to be straight up. Like, if you don't think that it's the same source that you're going to be getting from a Ouija board just because they put some naked girl and flowers over a pond or whatever, you know, there's still pentagrams all over these things. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of like demonic stuff, and people who are like not about Christianity, but they're okay with pentagrams and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, so I guess you really don't care, like. But I don't know, people must think that they're indestructible. But my advice to people who are like maybe new to this channel or just dropping in, like, don't take my advice, but like, at least keep it real. You know what I'm saying? And so like, if you're gonna listen to what some tarot cards have to say, you might as well just go up the street to the store, buy a Ouija board, hit up eBay or whatever, have your friend come over and ask the same questions. You know, like, because it's the same. I can't even. And I've you know, every time I say something like this in one of my videos, I do go and I try to get some kind of association with a tarot reading, just so I can make sure that I'm not like jumping the gun and I'm not like putting my foot in my mouth. I want to make sure that I'm right in what I believe. But every time I just step foot and I see these people, they're just so proud of their tarot decks. They're just like, yeah, you know, they feel so in tune and so powerful, and you see them wearing their esoteric gear. It's like, it's like, okay, all right, go ahead down that path. Go ahead. You know what I'm saying? Like, but you just see the same form. It's like the YouTube formula. It's like, you know how there's like the Instagram formula? Like, you see the same thing, but it's easier on YouTube to see it in like video format. Like, I'm kind of going off the ball here, but I think it is beneficial in some way. On Instagram, you see the same poses, you see the same girls, you see the same everything. You know, same with women. It's the same makeup, the same hair, same lace fronts, same highlighter, same you know, Fashion Nova stuff. Same everything, same red bottoms, all that. You know, for dudes, what do dudes do on Instagram? Oh gosh. Well, you see, never mind, I'm not going to go too far. But you basically, I think Instagram is, has gone down the road for being like a pseudo porn site. You know what I'm saying? Like, you see girls doing all the same stuff, and you see dudes following that trend. I guess with dudes, maybe it's man buns and beards and workout stuff. Um, but on YouTube, like, it's easier to see the esoteric realm. Like, you see the people on their decks and they see that they have the same setup. You know, like I'm gonna light my candles. I'm gonna burn maybe they burn incense, but that might be too deep for YouTube. Whoa. But you'll see like the little gathering of sage, and you'll see some quartz and some, whatever else, stones and tiger's eye and all this kind of stuff. And, you have the different decks, and they're all so pretty and whimsical. Like, it's anything different that has, the hanging man. You think it's different? You think it's different because some manufacturer put a different picture on that thing in the factory? Like, the essence is the same. And I feel like these people tend to be like in the novice category of these things, because if you can't catch on to like all this kind of being like, I wouldn't say the Kmart, because I have an appreciation for Kmart, Walmart, all those stores. I have appreciation for any store. There's like a lot of stuff in it, so I'm cool with that. But what I'm saying is that it's not exactly like the couture of, the spiritual realm. And I'm not saying that I am, but when you start, getting into this thing, you can kind of just see the trend on YouTube. Everyone's doing the same stuff, but and it turns into a lot of tail chasing. But you have like those carousels at the mall, like the merry-go-round, and it's like the horses with the stick through them, and you ride and you're going around in the circle. Well, it's kind of like that, but like everyone's in a straight line chasing the tail of the person who's in front of them, and they're going around in circles. And that's how a lot of this, community feels like. I think there's some people out there doing some real stuff, but it's taken this turn, away from like expanding on yourself and exploring those things and sharing them, to astrological stuff and tarot stuff, connected with twin flame. But then you have that formula that always equals to union, and union is cool. Like, don't get me wrong, like I could totally dig some union situation, you know what I'm saying? I have an appreciation for all of that. I'm a romantic, you know what I'm saying? I get it. But when you're looking for like information, yeah, I guess it's all case sensitive. It's all up to the individual. But I kind of went off topic, but it is up to the person, the people who are involved, to make these decisions. And I do see the beauty in some of these channels, even though like this, I see like a cookie cutter kind of thing going on. I can resonate with some of the stuff that's being said. And there's some people who just have a cool energy, and some people are not cool, but you learn from them all. But it seems to be like a stalemate, like there's something stale in the community. And I think that right there, if it was kind of like ironed out, then it would help the progress of us all. So, because we are a community of people, so whether you like it or not, I'm your neighbor. And whether I like it or not, you're my neighbor too. So we gotta just deal with it, right? And it goes back to the politician thing. There's a lot. There's a lot. And I used to be told when I was growing up that God put these politicians in office for a reason. And as a Christian, it was our duty to obey them. And that's just not true. It's just not true. Like, these people aren't from some divine order. that is following the doctrine of the Bible. And whether you're Christian or not, I'm going down this path, you know. It's just an example, but it is, you know, it's not just an example, but what I'm saying is that, like, I don't believe those things anymore, even though it was told to me by a parent, you know. I used to think that was wild sounding. Like, there's some straight evil going on, and obeying them, it just sounds like some puppetry, you know. It doesn't sound right. You know, obeying the law, that's one thing. That, you know, that's usually pretty okay. But, like, being okay with how they act and thinking that's like some divine intervented type of thing, or, you know, some divine intervention went on to have them come here. Come on. No way. Get out of here. So, not get out of here in a disrespectful way, but figuratively speaking, no. It's time for us to make our own decisions. It's time for us to voice what's wrong and to not be okay with hypocrisy when it is endangering people. People should be able to just live life and, you know, do their own thing, you know, and not, you know, contribute to the community. But our own leaders are tearing it down. It's like, when they are, I'm not saying they all are, but when they are, it's like, that's not cool. And as Americans, we don't have to stand for that, ever. You know, we don't have to go all ape shit, but, you know, we let them know, like, you guys work for us. We pay our taxes, you do a good job, we live together in harmony, that's boom, that's it. But don't try to fuck with us. Homie, don't play that. Natives don't play that. And don't forget, America wasn't always America. And the Indians were called Indians because what? Some people got it wrong. So those things don't change. And when you fuck with somebody's land and you take over their community, you know what I'm saying? You kind of have to make things cool in the end. And when you kind of continue to make them uncool, that is uncool. So, you know, if everyone just keeps that in mind, that needs to keep that in mind, it's all good. So just don't forget who was here first. All right. I'll see you guys later. Bye.